Hello, everyone. Today, we're taking a fascinating journey through time to explore the evolution of science curricula. Over the decades, science education has undergone significant changes, reflecting new discoveries, technological advancements, and shifting educational philosophies. By examining this evolution, we can better understand how science curricula have adapted to prepare students for an ever-changing world. Let's dive into this historical perspective. Early 20th century. Foundations of modern science education. At the dawn of the 20th century, science education was beginning to take shape in a formalized manner. The curricula of this era were primarily focused on the fundamental principles of biology, chemistry, and physics. The emphasis was on rote memorization and the mastery of basic scientific facts. Practical experiments were limited, and the teaching methods were largely lecture-based. 1. Introduction of laboratory work. By the 1920s and 1930s, there was a growing recognition of the importance of hands-on learning in science education. Schools began to incorporate laboratory work into the curriculum, allowing students to conduct experiments and observe scientific phenomena firsthand. This shift marked the beginning of a more experiential approach to science education. 2. Influence of progressive education movement. The progressive education movement, led by educational reformers like John Dewey, also impacted science curricula during this period. Dewey advocated for learning by doing and emphasized the need for students to engage in problem-solving and critical thinking. This philosophy began to influence science education, encouraging more interactive and student-centered teaching methods. Mid-20th century, post-war boom, and the space race. The mid-20th century was a period of rapid scientific and technological advancements, significantly impacting science education. The aftermath of World War II and the onset of the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union drove a renewed focus on science and technology. 1. Post-Sputnik reforms. The launch of Sputnik in 1957 by the Soviet Union was a wake-up call for the United States, highlighting the need to improve science education. In response, the U.S. government invested heavily in science education, leading to the development of new curricula. Programs like the Physical Science Study Committee, PSSC, for physics, the Biological Sciences Curriculum Study, BSCS, and the Chemical Bond Approach, CBA, revolutionized science education by introducing more rigorous and inquiry-based approaches. 2. Emphasis on inquiry-based learning. During this era, there was a shift towards inquiry-based learning, where students were encouraged to ask questions, conduct experiments, and develop a deeper understanding of scientific concepts through investigation. This approach fostered critical thinking and problem-solving skills, preparing students for careers in science and technology. Late 20th century. Integration of technology and interdisciplinary approaches. The latter part of the 20th century saw the integration of technology into science education and a move towards interdisciplinary approaches. The rapid advancement of computers and digital technology began to influence how science was taught and learned. 1. Introduction of computer-based learning. With the advent of personal computers in the 1980s and 1990s, schools began incorporating computer-based learning into the science curriculum. Educational software and simulations allowed students to visualize complex scientific concepts and conduct virtual experiments. This technological integration made science more accessible and engaging for students. 2. Rise of environmental and earth sciences. The growing awareness of environmental issues in the 1970s and 1980s led to the inclusion of environmental science and earth sciences in the curriculum. Topics such as ecology, climate change, and sustainable development became essential components of science education. This shift reflected the need to address global challenges and prepare students to be responsible stewards of the planet. 3. Interdisciplinary approaches. The late 20th century also saw a move towards interdisciplinary approaches in science education.